In the old days, men tried to catch a glimpse of the future in the strangest of ways. They locked themselves in dark rooms, not partaking of food and drink. At the stroke of midnight, they ventured into the night, through the dark woods where strange creatures roamed, to see if they would be wealthy, to see if they would be happy, to see if they would live, to see if they would be loved. Welcome, adventurers, to Year Walk, a game that suits this time in between the years, when the old one has not yet ended and the new one not yet started. What better time is there to listen and watch some peculiar story about the ancient Swedish phenomena of year walking? The story was made by the Swedish developer Simogo, excuse me please if I pronounce that not correctly, for us to be part of it, and this is how it unfolds. When there's a path leading north, press W or up arrow key to cross it. Okay, so we have paths, and we are in a wintry forest, and there's a hut. Can we do something? No, we cannot. This is an interesting game mechanic here. It's some kind of a side scroller, but not really. So there's an arrow up, so we can go north, and of course we can go south, but we don't want to, right? We want to explore that wood, that wintry wood. Here on that side there seems to be nothing though. I hope I don't miss an arrow. There. Oh, that's the arrow down. That's where we came from, I think. And there is something. Okay. Looks like an old telephone, but without the telephone mechanics. There's a bull's head or something. And we cannot go further, no, and we cannot do anything here yet. I see something there in the distance. In the distance, in the woods. Oh, we can go up north here. Then, yeah, we can remember these little hints where we can move. We can go south here. That's not where we came from. Okay. So there's a wheel lying there in the path. Oh, a campfire. Nice. Can we? No, we can't do anything with the campfire. And the sign. Okay, but is there anything else? No, we can only go north. We can go back, yeah. That seems plausible. We can go north here. Can we do anything else? Nope. So let's go up there. And there. Oh, a windmill. Nice. But it's not ahead. It's there. We are already there. Oh, nice. Can we take anything? We cannot, but we can go to the windmill. Hello? Oh, I can interact. There you are. I've been waiting for you all day. So, are we the miller? Oh. You should not go outside without a hat on a cold day like this. Don't I have one? I don't know. I cannot look at myself. You will freeze your ears off. Okay, we need a hat. And I'm quite fond of the person those ears belong to. Aw. Did anyone see you coming here? Okay, so maybe we're not the miller. Now you're being silly. You know that I'm not ashamed of you. But, okay. It's not that I like you very much. Is her liking me not allowed, maybe? But you and I come from different worlds. Oh no. He's waiting for my answer. I said I'd give it to him next year. And this is the last day of this year. Maybe she's promised to someone else. Oh no. Now you're being unfair. This isn't any easier for me. I don't like it when you're like this. Calm down. I'm calm. You're walking? I hope you're joking. You do remember what happened to my cousin, don't you? What happened to him? Promise me you won't do anything foolish. So year walking seems to be a difficult thing, or a dangerous thing even. We are not supposed to know what happens in the future. That's kind of true. You should hurry home to your cottage and get some rest. It's getting dark soon. Hurry home to your cottage. I think that's all we can get out of her. You should probably go. I don't want to. You really should hurry home, now. It's getting dark soon. Okay, no, she's saying the same thing over and over again. Okay, that's our beloved woman who we are not allowed to love, it seems. And she might be the reason we want to go on that year walk trip. Right? But before we go home to our cottage, I want to explore the map. So maybe we can find something that we can't find later on. Oh, by the way, exploring the map, we do have a map. And it's right here. We have seen all these little islands already. And they have names even. So woods outskirts, plains, and the windmill. And I think that is also a hint where we can cross to other islands. So maybe we should try and go to the big one. So we go back, and then east. So back, and does that work? Oh, now we are already on that island. Now we go east. And there should be an option to go back, but there is not. There's the wheel, so do we have to kinda... No, now we are on that island. Maybe it's not yet available? Is that what the game is telling us? Because now we are on that island, and there's the box we saw earlier, and we had no option to go down here. So yeah, I think it's just not available. Let's try to get on the northern islands back there. Now we could go down, yeah, that is true. But we cannot go up, and I see these things here. Can we? Yeah, and we are right where we should be able to go up. So that is not an option yet, I think. I think we have to go home. Okay, let's go home then. It's cold and we need a hat. Don't forget the hat. Oh, there. We go back, and that's our cottage. Can we now get into our cottage? What's happening? We are dreaming. Oh, we are dreaming of sticks. Oh, I can click the sticks. A feather, a wheel, half a wheel. Another stick. A wheel card. Oh, it's writing. Ah, that is awesome. I love it. Year. Walk. Oh, that is awesome. That is so cool. Windmill. Year walk. Is it now midnight? Did we take our head? Yeah, that's it. We cannot go back. Now there's an encyclopedia in the game where we can read what we will encounter. And there's the guy who wrote it, Theodore Almston, and his curriculum vitae. So he is a Doctor Philosophiae, at the Faculty of Ethnology. Sorry, at Lund University. So let's see what this is all about. Arsgang, year walk. That is what we are doing at the moment. Sorry for my pronunciation if it's terrible. And if you're speaking Swedish, I'm very, very sorry if it's terrible. So, year walk. Year walking was at its core a vision quest with the purpose being to foresee the future. There were very rigid rules concerning the year walk, and not adhering to them could prove very dangerous, even fatal. Okay, that's what the woman was warning us about. How the practice of year walking came to be is shrouded in mystery, but it seems to have been a widespread practice in Sweden until the beginning of 19th century, and in some rural areas as late as the beginning of the 20th century. The practice was likely over 1,000 years old and most certainly pagan. Year walking varied greatly regionally, and even locally there might have been differences between one village and the next. All the variations had a couple of elements in common though. A year walk could not be done on any common day. There were certain days a year when the gate was open, generally in liaison with important festival days such as May Day, Midsummer's Eve or Christmas Eve, and most commonly New Year's Eve. And that's what we are doing at the moment. A year walker could not partake of any of the food or drinks that were served on these days. A sacrifice of no little significance, since these feasts were some of the rare occasions when food would be plentiful and varied. A year walker had to avoid other people, so they commonly locked themselves in dark rooms and were not allowed to see a fire for the entire day. But we visited our beloved one. Maybe then it's not... I mean, maybe we did something wrong already? I don't know. Perhaps not a vast sacrifice on Midsummer's Eve, but on cold winter days it would be uncomfortable at least, oh yeah, if not hazardous. If the year walker followed these steps, he would leave his dark room at the stroke of midnight. This would be his last chance to cancel the year walk. Once he ventured out, there was no turning back. The church was the final destination for a year walker. On his way, he would typically encounter a number of supernatural creatures, which would pose a threat physically, mentally, and spiritually. If a year walker made it to the cemetery, he would walk around the church in an intricate pattern. This would open the year walker's eye to the future, but it would also lure out the Church Grimm. After having completed the year walk, the year walker would see visions that could manifest themselves in different manners. When the year walker left the cemetery, he might, for instance, see a somber procession of dancers dressed in their finest church clothes. I thought this was a pagan thing. That is funny. These would be the people that would die the following year. Oh, goodness. A reoccurring theme is, of course, the year walker who meets his own ghost on the road. Another story tells how the walker would see newly dug graves. Love played a great part too, so a walker would typically meet wedding processions or even attend weddings yet to come. So I think that's why we are on our way to year walking, to know if this forbidden love could happen or not. One testimony from the late 19th century tells of a mental patient named Martin Nielsen, who described his visions as otherworldly experiences. Before I saw what happened next year, I lived among the stars. I lived there for many lifetimes, it seemed. What do I care for next year? Time has already ended. Today the practice seems to be almost entirely forgotten. Ooh. Okay, so that's the year walking in general. And, oh, there's a symbol. A fork, a baby on a fork. Okay, but we can't do anything with it. So baby fork is here. There's a way up now. Yeah, now new paths opened. And there walked a deer it seems. Do we have, there are different things. I think we read those. Oh, we encountered that already. I want to say we read those when you encounter them. But we did encounter Mylingen, it seems, the fork baby. The myling. In fantasy, it was a fairly common crime in Sweden during the 19th century and earlier. I think everywhere, right? I mean, that's, I think, fairly common everywhere. The two most common motives were that there was no room for another mouth to feed, or that the child had been conceived outside of wedlock. The souls of these unfortunate children became mylings. Typically, the mylings were murdered by the mothers, often unmarried women who had been left to fend for themselves. The myling would commonly be left in the woods to die, or they would have been drowned by their mothers in brooks or bogs. Some mylings died at the hands of angel makers. The angel maker would typically be paid by the child's poor mother to find a decent home for the infant. When the mother left, the infant was murdered. The most common way for the myling to haunt was through a horrible wailing sound. The myling might take the form of a ball of light similar to those of Irblos, Scandinavian will-o'-the-wisps, and lead the curious traveler astray. Sometimes they would cry for their mothers to breastfeed them, which would apparently set them free. One story from Bergslagen tells of an old farmer on his way home through the forest. He is approached by a small child who follows him and says, "Grandfather, grandfather, I'm so hungry." The old man tries to ignore it, but the child keeps on nagging, so finally the old man loses his patience. "If you can find someone to feed you, then feed. But you won't get any milk from me." The child seems pleased and leaves. When the old man comes home, he finds his daughter lying dead on the floor, bleeding from her chest. The child he met was the spirit of his murdered grandson. A person who helped the mylings find their way to the other side was often left with a gift. According to some sources, the myling would be taken in by other supernatural creatures such as hobs, or if it had been drowned, the brook horse. Okay, so we have a myling here. A myling on a fork. Okay. Do we now have to... Oh yeah, now everything is gray, so we can access everything. Maybe we should first go and try and go down, I want to say, but before we do, we have to go round. So let's just explore what we can find. There's runestone. Hello. I can't do anything. Maybe we have to remember that rune, though. There is the deer print, the deer footprint, but we cannot follow it. There's a road. Okay. Deeper into the woods we go. There is a man's footprint. Okay. Do we follow someone around? Is that the book horse? He has a fork too, but with a longer middle part. Let's see. There. Oh goodness, I cannot pronounce that. Bäckhästen, the brook horse. Sweden is a country that has a lot of lakes, rivers, streams and brooks, and Swedish folklore is filled with strange creatures residing in the dark waters. The brook horse was a pale horse who lived in creeks or lakes, lurking children to ride on its back. The brook horse's spine grew for every rider that it lured on top of its back. When the brook horse was satisfied, it leaped into the water, whereupon the children drowned. Oh man. The brook horse had a lot in common with the nix, a handsome young fiddler who lured young girls down into the water, and according to some, they were one and the same. It's likely that the brook horse was made up to keep children from playing too close to the water. One of the more unusual descriptions comes from a story told in the north of Dalarna. Dalarna horses. A young man is on his way home from his work at the charcoal kiln. He decides to wash up in a nearby creek. The man finds a strange stone formed like a small child in the water. He picks it up. The man notices that he is not alone. He is being watched by a horse walking on 2 legs. The horse stretches out a human hand to the man, who gets frightened and runs home to a shack he shares with his fellow workers. He tells the tale to his comrades, who laugh at him and call him a drunken fool. He shows them the stone that now looks quite ordinary. The man curses and goes to bed. When the workers wake up the following morning, they find the man dead in his bed, his lungs filled with water, and the stone nowhere to be seen. The brook horse was almost always closely associated with death, not always in a negative way. For instance, in the sad folk tale Little Niels, the brook horse is the one who finally leads Little Niels' soul home, and thus ends his long series of misfortunes. Okay, but I rather prefer not to meet the brook horse. Oh, look at that. Somebody is chopping wood, and there is a hut. Okay. Nothing here, right? That I can see in the dark, like in our dream. No? Okay, where are we on the map? Let's remember that. Oh, there. The hut. We can now go to that island. I don't think we have been there yet. Should we go? Yeah, I really want to go down onto that big island and then on the last little island there. So, where was the way down? Here? Yeah. There we go. Oh. There's another symbol, a bird. Nattraven, the night raven. Carrion birds were deeply linked with misfortune and death in Scandinavian folklore. Maybe even everywhere, I think. The night raven, or nattraven, was certainly no exception. The night raven was described as a large bird with a sharp beak, sometimes with holes in its wings. If a person gazed through those holes, he would become ill. Other stories told of a giant skeleton bird that would never satisfy its hunger. Travelers foolish enough to be out at night risked being devoured by the terrible bird, especially at festival days such as Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve. Don't look at the night raven. The night raven has also been described as an ordinary raven, but if it landed on a house, someone would die shortly with a terrible fever. Overall, the night raven was strongly associated with disease. When farmers sent their children out to collect wild birds' eggs, they had to be careful that they did not pick the eggs of the night raven. Those eggs were considered deadly, but if the child was unsure, he could knock on the egg 3 times and say, "Out with the evil spirit!" If the egg belonged to the night raven, it would turn black. The night raven not only infested the egg, it also possessed birds, preferably carrion birds. According to some sources, the night raven was a spirit of an evil, greedy man who had not been buried properly. The greed manifested itself in the night raven's fondness of shiny objects. That is so sad that in most folklore, raven are bad because they're such amazing birds. They are so... Ooh, get down there. They are so smart. But maybe that's the reason people are scared of them, because they are smart. There's a pond. Okay, we found a pond. That's down there on the big one. Yeah, that's that. Okay. So, we can get in. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. We need coal, I think. Okay, we need to find coal. Not here, though. At the pond. There's another rune. Do we have to remember which rune is where? Is that the bog? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Beware of the horse. Can you go down there? I think that is then the small island. We can go up here and then we are on the other side. Yeah, that's it. But first we explore that island. There is... We cannot go up there, but there's something on the other island. Maybe it's just a tree. Okay. Let's see. We go to the small island. Here. Oh, we crossed a stream. Yeah, the bog horse must be close. I think. But there's nothing. No horse. Nothing. And yeah, there's not even something. I cannot read what's written there. Okay, but then now we go to that, I think, and see what that is all about. And it was here somewhere. Aha! There's another rune stone, and there is another creature. The Kirkokrimen, or something like that. Again, I'm very sorry if I pronounced that terribly. The Church Grimm. Of all the creatures in Swedish folklore, the Church Grimm was doubtlessly the most complex and certainly the most feared. Little is known of it, since it was considered bad luck to even speak about it. The Church Grimm's appearance varied, which could possibly be attributed to the nature of the Church Grimm's origin. When a church was built in medieval times, an animal was sometimes buried alive under the floors, most commonly goats, since these were comparatively cheap. There have also been stories of criminals being buried alive as punishment. Oh my goodness. In other versions, the criminal's heart was cut out and placed inside an animal carcass that was sacrificed. The heart was central in many of the myths surrounding the Grimm. Stories from the south of Sweden told that if you could touch the Church Grimm's heart, you could stare into the eye of creation. I love it that the pagan myths kind of are intertwined with the Christian ones. That's amazing. So, yeah, religion doesn't really matter. It's just for the people that there is something to hold on. But it doesn't matter where it comes from. So new is intertwined with old, and everything is just a huge mysterious stew cooked on the fires of myth and mystery. That's amazing. The Church Grimm guarded the church against thieves and grave robbers, but because of it, even honest folks avoided the church at night. That's great. Avoid the church. Some stories say that if you were unlucky enough to be the last one to die during the year, you would serve the Church Grimm the following year. Ah, great. There are other stories that suggest that the Church Grimm was not a guardian at all, but rather a sort of parasite that was drawn to the energy of the church. While there, it fed on people's hopes, dreams, and fears. That's what all religions do, right? A recent and controversial theory suggests that the Church Grimm was closely related to a nameless Bronze Age deity. Ah, I like that one. And there it is. Ah, that's the heart then. Okay. And it looks like a goat. Oh, cool. Is that where I put the runes in? Oh, so we have to look for the Church Grimm's rune, and I think we can then put it in there. Most probably. That's my theory for now. We did not encounter it yet though, right? So, wait. We should be able to get up there, shouldn't we? Oh, here. There? Yeah. Then... Oh, hello. An outhouse? Oh, that is creepy. Is that another one of the dead children? I don't like that. Do I have to remember where it pointed to? Oh goodness, I'm glad I recorded that because I don't remember. Are these the ravens or are these owls? And yeah, I think... Oh, it's not the myling, it's the huldra, isn't it? The huldra. The huldra is known to have played a part of Norse mythology, but she is likely of an even older origin from when men lived off the forest rather than the fields. The huldra was the guardian of the forest. She tended to the trees, plants, and animals. A single large tree in a grove surrounded by smaller trees was often considered to be the huldra's home, or even the huldra herself. In most stories, she presented herself as a beautiful young woman. This was, however, not her real appearance. Very few saw the huldra's true face, and even fewer lived to speak of it. She was often described as a lonely and woe-filled creature. Her relationship with humans was very complex. She could enthrall a man with her beautiful song and lure him deeper and deeper into the forest, where she either wedded or killed him. The men kissed by the huldra became apathetic and slow. According to some accounts, the huldra was a positive force. If a hunter was kind to the huldra, she might blow her breath down the barrel of his rifle, which would bless his hunt. Colliers considered her their friend, as she kept fires from spreading from their charcoal kiln. She also helped those who willingly offered their blood to her, but this was dangerous, as the huldra might drink the giver dry. The huldra was thus capable of doing both good and bad deeds. It was very hard to predict whether she would help or harm, since she played by rules known only to her. Okay, so this might be her because of the blood she drinks. Okay. Oh goodness. What? The path of the Church Grimm. Oh, are we at the church? We don't want to be at the church. No. That's our last part of the journey. We do not go there yet. How do we get there? With a boat, maybe? So I think we go... Oh, we cannot. No. Is this a dream? I think we just met the huldra. And we need a key. Ooh, hello. Yeah, and this shows us the Church Grimm's way, I think, to the church. But we don't want to go that way. We can go up, but that is where the mill is, the windmill, I think. There's the huldra and her rune. So what we need to find is the rune of the Church Grimm, because we have found its rune stone. And there was that box. That box. Yeah, that is... We don't know. Maybe we should try these runes. Let me write them down and see which one is the proper one. So we have that one. It's with an I. I don't know if that matters. So if we have the... I think... Let me see. Like this, and this, and this, and this. Okay, I wrote that one down. The I rune. And we try that on the rune stone where we can... interact. Here. So, it was that, then that, then that, and then that. Oh, and we have to find all three. I see. Okay, we found already 2 more, I think. Where have they been? What do they look like? Let's go back to that one. And then we can see on the map what they look like. Where was it there? Oh, goodness, here. Can we see them? Ah, these are the eyes. That makes sense. So there is one. That's the big one where we can interact, I think. Then we have now to go there. Or do I remember? No, I don't remember. So let's go there. We have to go there, 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 there. Okay. So, and on the way we meet that thing and we can see if we can interact. And there is the last one. And we do not know how to get there yet. But we have to try. Okay. We have to go north. North. Then we go east, north. East, north. Then east, south. Oh, there's the raven. Did we encounter that one yet? Yeah, the night raven. Of course we did. And maybe I also have to remember these runes. So, night raven. Night raven is this rune. Okay, got it. But we don't want to go up there. We want to go down there. South, and then east, and then north. And there's the box. East is the box. Can we do something here yet? Do we have to try to... No, there must be a solution to this somewhere, I think. Yeah. We don't know what to do there yet. So we go north where we can. North. There is the... What was it called? The miling. The miling, and it has the fork-like rune. Okay, got that. North? Here, there it is. Okay. That one, I'm running out of paper already. That one is that. It's the second eye. Got that. Now we try to find the next one. We go east and north. East and north. Then I think west all the way to the hut. West all the way. The horse. The bock horse was it, I guess? Was the fork with the longer middle. Okay, got that. There's the chopping thing. Yeah, how can we use the ferry or whatever it is? Huh. I think we can't yet. So we cannot solve that last rune stone. Can we? it has to do with that thing here. Let's go then to that island. North, where we can. And there is that. Maybe we have to do something else here, though. Oh, we can restart it. Maybe I should remember that. So... My theory is that this is the code for something, but not in here. So we have to find either statues or whatever, or carvings of these birds, and then solve this mystery. But for now, I want to go back to the runestone and put in the one we have. Okay, one ice lit, and it keeps being lit. That is good. Okay, we have that, and that. Now we need only the one that we cannot reach. Okay, but that is it for this first episode of Year Walk. Our story will continue in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Have an adventurous day and goodbye.